All right, good afternoon, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, more likely than not that you're the person who's committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me today, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the charges against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release today. That is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. To let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. I'll solemnly swear or affirm, tell truth, whole truth, none but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Sierra Schroyer. Afternoon, Ms. Schroyer. What's your date of birth?
2/4/89.
Ms. Schroyer, I have two charges today: possession of controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, do you wish to represent yourself? You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Adjudication in 2016 for petty theft where a short jail sentence was imposed. A 2015 adjudication for false ID to second-hand dealer under $300. An adjudication in 2010 for grand theft, as well as an adjudication, multiple charges of that where a state prison sentence was imposed. It was between 2008 and 2010, and no other Florida history.
And Sierra, I've got an address for you on Alhambra Court in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
5 years.
Do you have a job these days?
No.
Set your bond at $1,000 on each charge. That's a total. It's $2,000. I'll have you back in court on the 13th of September. If you get out, Sheila, very important that you contact the public defender's office right away. If you can't get out, they're going to come see you at the jail before you go to court. Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Patricia Coe. Afternoon, Miss. What's your date of birth?
9/30/89.
Patricia, you're here on a charge of driving under the influence. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
This looks to be the first time offense, Your Honor.
And Patricia, I have an address for you on, well, it says Willow Street. What city do you live in?
It's Brooksville.
Okay. That's your right address on Willow Street?
Yeah.
How long have you lived there?
Since I was 16.
Okay. You have a job these days?
No, I'm on disability.
Okay. All right. Patricia, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance today, so they're going to let you out of jail. Very important that you contact the public defender's office when you get out, and then I'll have you back in court. I'll have you back in court on September 6th, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Benjamin Bergenstein. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
7/31/95.
Benjamin, I've got 2 arrests for felony retail theft. There's probable cause for each of them. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
An adjudication for a petty theft in 2019. Adjudication in 2017 for trespass. Adjudication withheld in 17 for possession of marijuana. Adjudication withheld in 2017 for sale of synthetic. Adjudication in 16 for a petty theft. Adjudication withheld in 13 for a trespass. Adjudication withheld in 13 for another trespass. A Berg, adjudication withheld in 2013. A pretrial diversion in 2012 for grand theft. No other history, Your Honor.
All right. And Benjamin, where you been staying lately? You been staying with friends or living outdoors? What's going on?
I have a place out on the address right now.
Okay. You have a job these days?
No.
Set the bond at $1,000 on each count. That's a total of $2,000. They're both coming back September 13th. If you're able to get out, you should contact the PD right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you. Okay?
All right.
Thank you. Adam Fairfax. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
February 25th, 1994.
Adam, the charge is possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire a private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
I'm not showing any criminal history for him, Your Honor.
Okay. Adam, I have an address for you on Abbotsford Court in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
25 years.
Do you have a job these days?
I did. I guess it mostly probably depends on how long I'm in here for.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance today, so they're going to let you out this afternoon. You'll be back in court on September 6th. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right?
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. You bet. You're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tyler Figueredo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Tyler, what's your date of birth?
June 3rd, 1994.
Charges retail theft. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
A public defender, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
I'm showing an adjudication in 2018 for domestic violence battery. Moving into a paraphernalia adjudication in 2019. No other history.
All right. Tyler, I have an address for you on Trollman Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
7 years.
You have a job these days?
Not at the moment, sir.
Okay. Set your bond at $500. I'll have you back in court on September 6th. Make sure you contact the PD if you get out, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Joseph Hernandez.
Judge Peyton Heislip here on his behalf.
Joe, what's your date of birth?
3394.
Here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Judge Merritt found probable cause for aggravated stalking. Mr. Heislip.
Yes, sir. Well, Judge Merritt found probable cause. I'm not sure what he read. I'd like to point out to the court in my request that my client be released on his own recognizance that in the probable cause affidavit, it indicates that some vinyl records were left at an Emily Daggert's house. It swears that Mr. Hernandez did it. However, as we all know, for the crime of harassing, you have to maliciously do something. That doesn't indicate any malice. And harass means something that's not done for any legitimate purpose. And giving somebody a gift can obviously be a legitimate purpose. Further down in the probable cause affidavit, it points out 3 different cases where a no contact order was entered. The first 2 of those cases were closed and they were not in effect. The third case, the no contact order would be in effect, but there's no indication based upon this that Mr. Hernandez had any contact with the victim because the box was left upon the doorstep. Then we go further over to see it should be noticed the victim spotted the defendant's vehicle driving past her residence, unable to capture a plate. There's no indication the defendant was driving that vehicle. Then it says that it's also believed the defendant texted a lot of time, but they are unable to prove that. So it's nice that you swear that you believe something, but that's still not a fact that would rise to probable cause. While a warrant was signed, I know you're not here looking at that specifically, but I believe based upon that, the possibility of conviction at trial, if this is what they have, is slim to none, and I'd request an ROR for Mr. Hernandez.
Okay. And do you know, Peyton, is there currently an injunction out there?
There is not. She had one, and she withdrew it back a year and a half ago.
Okay. I'm just not going to weigh in at all, other than that I'm going to ROR him. And then you can have that fight in circuit court where it belongs.
Yes, sir.
So certainly the Judge Merritt found probable cause pursuant to the warrant. I know he's got history, Mr. Larison. I get all that, and I'd rather not get involved into what went into the warrant. I did read it before I came out here. I read the PC. I'm just gonna. My only comment is going to be that I'm going to release him on his own recognizance today. He'll be back in court on the 13th of September. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Your Honor.
Christopher Wilbur. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
1983.
Christopher, I got 2 charges: operating a vehicle without a valid license and operating an unregistered vehicle. There's probable cause for those 2 charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself? You want to hire a private counsel? Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, sir.
Appoint the PD, state.
No prior history, Your Honor.
And at the jail, pardon me, did we figure out if he's got a hold out of Georgia?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pardon me. And if I ROR him on these, or are we gonna do the fugitive tomorrow? Is that the plan, or what are you doing?
Yes, sir. That would be what would happen.
Okay. All right. So, Mr. Wilbur, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance on these 2 charges. These will be back in court on the 6th of September. I've appointed a public defender. They'll probably bring the Georgia issue then to first appearance tomorrow, and we can figure out what your plan going forward is, all right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And these are coming back September 6th, not sooner.